Did you ever ask yourself what you're honestly in pursuit of? Um, I think a lot of people have a direction, whether that direction is for the life they want to live or the career they want to pursue. I think a person that has a career, idea from a young age has got things licked a lot better than somebody that has a life style or whatever, because at least they know how they want to make it. Everything else can fall into place as far as that goes. For me, it was never easy. Uh, I never really knew what I wanted to do. Uh, I knew some things I liked to do, but I didn't see myself doing them my entire life. I kind of did some of the things I like to do for myself, and it saved me lots of money over the years. But making a living doing them, I didn't think I had the temperament for it, actually. Uh, but I think a lot of us are that don't have a career in mind may just look at like, hey, get a family, get married, get a family, get a house with a two-car garage, that kind of thing. And that's what life's all about. And I think that's kind of what we're indoctrinated to believe as we're going through school. That's what everything around us is based on. Uh, work, normal work, 40 hours a week or whatever it is. And none of that ever resonated with me. And I did it uh, more or less because I didn't have any idea how to do it any other way. I didn't spend enough time thinking about how to do it any other way. If I had, I probably wouldn't have wasted as much time as I did. And I think for me, that's sad. But I don't like to regret. So I'm just going to say, hey, I just figured it out too late. But I have to think that I'm not the only person that's lived life this way, where I pretty much just did what I had to do to make a living, to keep a roof over my head. And at times I did very well. I did fine. I made a better living than a lot of people. Um, but I never had that real satisfied feeling. I guess the types of work I did. Maybe it's because I mastered them relatively easy and fast, uh, that it wasn't satisfying. I think that might be some of it. Some of it may be that I really am kind of a gypsy at heart. Um, and a lot of my life, and I did move around a lot, probably more than the average person. I've been all over the country, lived in all different places. Um, in reality, had I known my life was going to be the way it is, I would have just stayed in the military and at least retired out of there. But when you're young, or when I was young, I thought I knew more than I did. Uh, but the reality of it is, I still had no idea what to do. And I think the military is a good place for people like that, because at least you're working towards a retirement. You can get all kinds of training, uh, and see all kinds of places. I think it's a good place for people like me, and I didn't realize that. I probably should have just stayed in, and and maybe even halfway through, something would have clicked. Um, but I got out because I thought I was, I was not utilizing myself to my fullest. And I didn't utilize myself to my fullest after I got out either, so it doesn't really matter. Um, I did lots of jobs, learned lots of things, and like I said, you can't regret your life. You just move on. I made a good enough living. I had nice things. Got a good roof over my head. Own a piece of property now. I mean, I'm not nothing bad. I've never been really homeless. There's a lot of people who've done a lot worse than me. It's just like I say, going back to the question, what are you in pursuit of? And I should, I remember my dad saying you should figure out what you want to do with your life when you're a kid. You need to figure that out. You need to figure it out. And boy, is that true. I mean, it's probably a good idea to figure out if you can. It doesn't mean you can. I never could. And honestly, to this day, I still don't really know. I mean, I'm going to go to my grave not knowing what I really wanted to do. Strange, but true. I know, there are certain things that I really love. I love animals. I love my pets. They're a big part of my life. They keep me put too. I mean, because as much as I like to travel around, at least with the pets, I'm kind of kept in place because, you can't just keep moving them around. But I think a lot of people get locked into staying in one place. A lot of people get locked into staying where they grew up, just because everybody else did, or their family did, and I think people should take a deep look inside and see, be completely honest with themselves and say, what do you really want to do? I wish I'd done it more often, because I'm kind of doing what I want to do now. But I spent a little more time thinking about it, and what I really want to do, I'd probably would have been doing what I really wanted to do 20 years ago instead of waiting to this past, year. I don't see any reason a guy can't retire when he's 40 years old. I mean, with some discipline, with money, there's no reason why a person can't retire at 40. They don't, the system doesn't want you to think you can retire at 40 because they want you, buying $500,000 homes and $80,000 vehicles. And as long as you're in debt up to your eyeballs most of your life, you're not retiring, I mean, but if you can live simple and live within your means, you can pack, tons of money away. And you don't even have to make a crap ton of money. You could make a decent living and pack money away and still live fine. But it's just everybody thinks they got to have this certain house and a certain car. It's all, and no, and you really don't have to have all that. It's hard to convince people of that, but you don't have to have all that stuff. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I don't know how many of you out there have asked yourself what you're really in pursuit of, but I'm sure most people just say money, money. But there's a hell of a lot more than money going on. And there's a hell of a lot more than a brand new pickup and a fancy house too. I mean, all that stuff is, well, I guess, if you want to work until you're, 90 years old, maybe it's okay, uh, but personally, me, I didn't want to work that long. So, and I still have nice things. Actually, I still have nice things. So, this is just discipline. In any case, I don't know. I think it's a good time to take a deep dive inside and ask yourself what you're in pursuit of. It's, I think a lot of people are know what they're, kind of have a feeling of what they're in pursuit of, but don't really pursue it. They pursue what they think they should be in pursuit of. Or maybe what their spouse thinks they should be in pursuit of. And I think people need to be in pursuit of what their heart tells them to be in pursuit of. And sometimes that's completely different than what everybody says. It doesn't have to be what everybody else does. It can be what you want to do. If you just want to bounce around the rest of your life. There's nothing wrong with it. But try to figure it out, because we're only here a short time, which is another thing that's becoming apparent as I get older. It's going to all be over with, relatively soon. 10, 20 years goes by in a flash. Anyway, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.